bunched up. Try her again. That's wide in the back here, Bob Bennett. Back out in front. And Jenny Vargo in second. Rusty Adam in third. And Brian Volk. John Sivanek, 53. John Sanquest. And then Jay Sahusky in 19. Baldy Baker. Got about a 3-car length lead. And 2. Brian Volk's trying to get down the inside of Rusty Adams. Now he's going toward the outside. Coming up right now. 15 lap. Oh, it's 15 lap feature there. And Rusty Adams, Brian Volk. Pulled away from third and fourth place. Brian Volk and Rusty Adams battle out that third spot. Five more laps to go. 5 more. Baker, Vargo, Adams and Volk. Brian Volk edging ahead. Rusty Adams. For third spot. Vargo trying to get on the outside of Baldy Baker for the lead. Can't quite do it. White flag's going to come out next time by for Baldy Baker. Denny Barker, Brian Volk, Rusty Adams, John Stipanek, John Sandquist. White flag is out. Here comes your winner, down turn 3 and the 4. Baldy Baker wins it. And 2, 62, 77, 53, 6, 19, 7, 17, 4, 112, 76, 84, 5, and 97. Baldy Baker.
Also makes the feature, along with number 62, Brian Volk of Canton, and 77, Rusty Adams of Cleveland. They will all make the 75-lap feature this afternoon, and 4 top 4 cars in this constellation are in the feature to make a field of 20. Baldy Baker of Strasburg. I apologize for our PA system. We had a loose wire in my head and in the microphone at the same time, so I apologize. Come back on that was, of course, our super late model. We now have 20 cars eligible. Now, in case any of the cars disqualified yesterday are not here or have scratched from the 75-lapper, the next alternate car would be 53, John Stipanek of Canton would be the first alternate car. The second alternate car would be John Sandquist of Austin Town. So they are the first 2 alternate cars in case of a scratch. We will also be taking 4 out of our late model feature and 4 out of our street stock feature. Randy Smith of Canton, number 55.
Hit it, Howard. All right.
Of Akron.
Let the announcer give you the numbers.
Philadelphia. Number 21, Junior Cart of Barberton. Number 7, Gene Pringle of New Philadelphia. Number 16, Sam Galata of Parma. 71, being driven by Joe Wittenenter. And number 93, being driven by Don Hartline of Akron. And number 67, out for the first time in Midvale Speedway, of Canton in 67.
All right, and 00 is Rich Rohr. 68 is Barry Schwartz. Number 1 is Rick Allmore. And 5, Rick Hosteller. 12 is Randy Smith at 55. Frank Parvin. P-A-R-V-I-N. Oh, Marvin. Frank Marvin to 55.
This will be a 12-lap consolation last chance race.
The last race we thought was a 20-lapper. It must have just been a 15-lap. This is going to be a 12-lap consolation. Get together out of turn 2, 3. You're 1 and 2. That's Rich Rohr leading lap 1. Then Barry Schwartz. Rick Allmore in 1. Rick Hosteller 5. Randy Smith in 12 and 55. Getting sideways. Driving number 5 this afternoon is Bill Desecker. instead of Rick Hosteller. All tore up down there. Coming down the home stretch.
Number 16, Sam Gulano, Lima. He is 55 collided, going into number 4. And 16 lost the whole front end of that car.
All right, Ormac 3 laps in. 12 lap, last chance race. Cosby here today in the late model division. That. All right. Rick Desecker in 5. And Rick Desecker in number 5 and number 1. Rick Allborn came together down the home stretch, front stretch. Might get another start. Rich Roar, going the wrong way, come out of turn 4. Start now. Rich Shore on the lead. Bear Schwartz, Rick Allborn, Bill Desecker. Kelly Cottonball, Randy Smith, and Gene Pringle. Rich Roar halfway. Bear Schwartz, Rick Allborn, Kelly Cottonball, Gene Pringle, Randy Smith, and Bill Desecker. Rick Allborn falling back. The 5th spot there, 3rd to 5th in 1 lap. Roar pulling out. White flag coming out. It's Rich Roar 00. Bear Swords in 68. Checker flag coming out for Rich Roar. And Bear Swords, Kelly Caldwell, Gene Pringle, Bill Dessaker, Randy Smith, 71, 93, 21, and 67. The top four make the features, which means that is Gene Pringle, Kelly Caldwell, Bear Swords, and this man coming here, Rich Roar, 00.
Right there, Rich Roar, Canada, Ohio. That checkered flag, by the way, makes Rich Roar the second winningest driver in Midvale Speedway history. Who tried, he and Tony Diano had 118 checkered flags. Rich Roar, 119 checkered flags in Midvale Speedway. That's the second all-time winner of Midvale Speedway. Rich Roar, Canada, Ohio. The all-time, of course, is 128 by Mr. Vinegar, 32 today. Second place in that event was 68. You won that, Wardell's up there in Strasburg. Okay, Wardell's Western Strasburg. Okay, Paul, thank you. Paul Wardell of Strasburg, winner of two $25 tickets. Say hello to Speedway Joe there, Paul, as you go by, baby. Show him all your hair. All right. He isn't going to sell them. I tell you, he's going to hold on. In Strasburg, those are like gold, baby. I think Strasburg's got what? 6 cars here today? They got 14 cars. Markstrom Strasburg and somebody else. No, I don't know. They got a lot of cars here. Baldy. Okay, where are we at? Got anything else we want to take care of here at intermission time? What? Going to line up the 75-lap race in front of you. We're going to let them take care of themselves. I would like to remind you at this time that we will have a special presentation of a trophy after each race today. The Street Stock Trophy is sponsored by Ziegler Tire of Uricksville. The manager, Dick Halbert, invites you to stop for a quote on tires, whether they be new, used, etc. And now's a good time to get some pricing for snow tires. We don't like to talk about it, but you know how it is in Ohio, baby. We're liable to get snow tomorrow after swimming today. That's the way it goes. Ziegler Tires and Service at the corner of 2nd and Water Streets at Uricksville. Remember the name, Ziegler Tire and Service. Dick Halpert, the manager at Uricksville, stop by and say hello to Dick and see if he can beat the price you got on tires, will you? They also do alignments and other things there at Ziegler Tire Service in Uricksville. They'll be sponsoring the trophy in the Street Stock division today. Our late model feature trophy sponsor today is the O'Connell Lodge, located at the intersection of Federal Route 250 and I-77 up there in New Philadelphia. For good eating and for a great weekend. Live entertainment on weekends at the O'Connell Lodge. I mean, they have a very, very excellent breakfast special at the O'Connell Lodge in New Philadelphia. And later, after this race is over, a 75-lap feature, we will present a trophy sponsored by Malquit Racing Engines of Strasburg, operated and owned by Brad Malquit. Incidentally, I don't know whether you know it or not, but Mark Malquit runs blacktop tracks and is dirt tracks. So I don't know whether that's a commercial operation or not, but it makes sense to me. They get the word around on blacktop, hardtop tracks that Mark's running there and saying, hey, my brother makes engines, and Brad's running on dirt tracks and say, hey, we also make engines for dirt tracks. So that sounds like a pretty good setup to me. So we'll have a trophy to give away a little bit later from the Malquick Racing Engines of Strasbourg. Taking a look ahead a little bit. 1987. Yep. We'll be opening here in April. In April of 1987. So we hope to see you back here with us. Bigger and better things in 1987.
W-H-E-T-N-E-L. Well, Stoker made it. He wouldn't have made it if he had to go through the config. You know, big bad Bill West. Oh, that's right. Eddie Warmax, I think, is going to let them get out by their car, and they're going to have Don Wagner, the track announcer, announce who they are car by car.
I don't know about you, but there's a few goose pimples going up my neck right now. This beautiful field of cars, the talent and the ability of these guys, some of truly the great champions of Ohio and Michigan right down here on the racetrack. The chance for you to see them all at one racetrack, that in itself is quite a thrill for me. I hope that you feel the same way. How many times have you wondered what a driver looks like? I've been around this game for over 25 years, and half the time I go in the pit, I don't even know what the driver looks like. We're going to give you an opportunity to see these gentlemen today. We've asked them to get out of their cars, a chance for you to see them up close. We would like an opportunity to see these guys that put on these great performances and thrill us week after week, year after year. This is an opportunity for us to see them and just show them how we appreciate what they give us each week. Now, you youngsters, we'd like, if you're going to get up there on the fence, why don't you just scoot down a little bit so everybody can see. And they mind me like my children. All right. Let's start off with our full car. On the pole today, number 65, Tim Ice of Doylestown, Ohio, right there. Newcomer to Midvale Speedway, number 86 from Willowrick, the Lorraine season champion, Kenny Adams. Kenny Adams, right there. The Columbus Point champion and an outstanding driver at Shady Bull, Columbus Motor Speedway, etc. And he ran into a little bit of mechanical problems last night from Darby-Dale, Ohio, Robbie Dean in 94. Winner of the Ohio State 500 leg here at Midvale Speedway, and he's won his share of races right here. He had a little trouble last night with a blown tire, but you know he'll be back today. The red, number 63, Bob Sibla, last one right there. Going back to the inside, number 70, winner of the Midvale Speedway Point Championship, the season championship, mid-season championship, 20 checkered flags at Midvale this year alone, Mark Malcolm Starfield. And he just happened to win that 30-lapper last night. But when Mark went across the finish line last night, there was a guy breathing heavily down his neck, and we all watched excitedly. Number 121 today from Miamisburg, John Vallow. John Vallow. He was the winner of one of the legs of the Ohio State 500, Queen City near Cincinnati, a top driver in that part of the state. Everywhere he goes. Number 42 from Cuyahoga Falls, a young driver coming on strong in the last couple of years, Bill Ingersoll of Cuyahoga Falls in 42. Number 72, the season champion at Otto City in Flint, Michigan, also winner at Dixie Speedway in Michigan and Tri-City Speedway in Michigan, John Doreen of Flint, Michigan in 72. Another one of those young upcoming drivers around this area, always doing well, and he's out there with the biggies today, from Canton, Ohio, number 85, Bill Vino. First time at Midvale Speedway, number 75 from Garfield Heights, Randy Nader. Randy Nader, 75. Point champion, season champion at Cloverleaf Speedway this year, number 90, Mark Bullen of Akron. The red number 21. And he has been driving to Midvale off and on for 20 years. Bill Rest of Hurringsville right there at 21. I think this gentleman is a brother of the other gentleman I just introduced to you in 90, number 58, Glenn Bullen of Akron right there. Mid-season champion at Shady Bull this year, number 81 from Columbus, Ohio, Don Wetnall. Don Wetnall. One of the two drivers that drive in two different divisions every night. He's kept busy. He doesn't have time to think about anything. Set a new track record yesterday in the other division, but driving in this one now, number 71 from Strasburg, Baldy Baker Jr. right there. Just gets better and better, that young guy. The mid-season champion at Canton, the point champion at Canton, just about won everything they gave away this year up at Canton. Number 62, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I missed the row there. Number 2. We'll go back to 2. The Lorraine point champion this year. Number 2, Denny Vargo of Eastlake. Denny Vargo. Now we'll try 62, huh? As I said, he had quite a year at Canton Speedway. A feature winner also here at Midvale this year. The point champion at Canton Motor Speedway, Brian Volk of Canton at 62. And a little earlier today, I told you about the family out here, the husband and wife and son and brother all running. This is part of that family I was telling you about. Number 77, the ORA champion at Lorraine and Cloverleaf this year. An outstanding season for this guy, a veteran of the game, Rusty Adams. Rusty Adams of Willow. That will be 77 today. Another newcomer to Midvale Speedway. We hope to see more of him as time goes on. Number 53 from Canton, Ohio, John Stefanik. John Stefanik in 53. This gentleman here is a regular at Midvale Speedway, a native of New Philadelphia. He worked all night to get this car ready. He blew it last night. He's taking scratch by his own decision. Number 96, Ron Stuckey of Cleveland in 96. That's your deal for our 75-lap super late model feature today that will pay $2,000 to win. $2,000 to win. We know it's going to be a great race. Now, it looks like the top 6 qualifiers in front were inverted because 121 was your top qualifier, 70 was second, then 63, 94, and so forth. So your top 6 qualifiers are on the front, your top 6. Ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the afternoon, a 75-lap super late model feature. Please start your engine.
Don Winer's giving the start. He's giving you all the lineup. Today's main event, the Fall Classic, 75 laps. Tim Ice and Kenny Adams will bring them in. Cars. 75 laps they'll go, 75 times around the track. Sun trying to peek through. 40% chance of rain today. I think we're going to get the main event in. Campers out in the parking lot, people staying overnight. The pit is full on the third turn and even on the backstretch in the old bleachers. They're still up there. super late models in today's feature, 20. Give him the slow down side. Now a bunch up. Looking for the start next time around. Five laps. Here we go. We got to start. Tim Ice, Kenny Adams, Robbie D moving on the inside. Mark Miller coming to the infield. Either something broke or somebody pushed him down on the inside. And if that's the case, like the right side of his car looks all right. Mark almost took off that fence down there. Damage on that right side. If you remember right, last year in the race, Mark went out early. They had trouble, and he never made the feature event the whole length. He had to go out early. And Ed Howe from Beaverton, Michigan went off and won the race. Ed's not here today. Last year's winner, Ed Howe, was a 50-lap feature. Now it's up to 75. I believe Scott Baker finished second in that race. But Scott's not here either today. Robbie Dean was here last year for that event. Johnny Vallow, he was driving number 3 last year, driving 121 now. Robbie Dean and a big Super Bird. Big Bird. Bob Sidla from Massillon, Ohio. Tim Ice. All big names in this area of sport racing. All right, here we go. Full restart. We got a green. Johnny Vallow and John Doring in 72. Robbie D trying to take away that second spot. Robbie Dean, Mark Conklin, Johnny Vallow, Kenny Adams, Bob Sidla, John Doring, Randy Nader, Bill Ingersoll, Phil Vito, and Glenn Bowen. Mark Conklin going on the outside of Robbie Dean. Conklin. Johnny Vallow, Bob Sibla, John Torrey. Lockwood's got him going to turn 3. Got about a 5 or 6 car length lead. Here comes Mark Conklin. Johnny Vallow trying to get by. Robbie D. Bob Sibla. Bill West going in the pit. Get a little sideways, come on, turn 4. Goes Tim Ice, Mark Conklin. Johnny Vallow, Bob Sillican on the outside of Robbie D. and John Dory. Tim Ice is starting to get back on the bad markers, the back markers. Big battle back out there. Traffic. Watch Tim Ice weave his way through. Really bunched up. Johnny Vallow trying to go high. Tim Ice wheeling his way through. Tim Ice, Mark Michael, Bob Sibla now in 3rd. Robbie D, Johnny Vallow clear back to 4th. Like the 5th. In the infield. Tim Ice, Mark Conklin right there. John Dory, 7th, Kenny Adams, 8th, 75, Randy Nader, Johnny Ball's moving up to the fourth spot. John Dory in fifth. Robbie Dean is now in sixth. Seventh is Kenny Adams. Eighth is Randy Nader. What a move by Bob Simmons in that lap traffic. Baker and Jim and Bill Ingersoll. What a race so far. Baldy Baker Jr., Bill Ingersoll coming together up in turn 3. But what a move through lap traffic by Bob Sibla. Johnny Ballo tried to get out high early and during that lap traffic. He got caught, fell clear back to 5th. He's worked his way back up to 3rd now. We'll bunch him up. They're all through the lap traffic, should be. The guys on the lead lap. Bob Sibla, your leader in 63. Then 70, Mark Malquit. Johnny Vallow in 121. 65, Tim Ice. Then John Doring in 72. Then 94, Robbie Dean. Now mid-lap cars. Back to Kenny Adams in 86. Then 75, Randy Nader. I believe that's 81 the lead lap? Okay, 81 still on the lead lap. Okay. 28 laps in. We believe back to number 81, Don Whitnell. Should be the last car in the lead lap. They're going to be doubled up. They might go back to the previous lap. If that's the case, Tim Ice was ahead of Mark Malcolm at the last lap 5. Because on the 4th turn, not completing that lap, Ice went high, and Michael got by him. So it might be Tim Ice is still in 2nd. A lucky break for Tim Ice. Back to Randy Nader is on the lead lap. All right. John Doring. one. Here we go. We got a green. Score that one. All right, we're going to get a start. Green's out. For the lead. Back to third now. Tibba, Mockwood, Ice, Fallow, Dory. First, Lockwood second. Johnny Vallow and Tim Ice fell out for third. Johnny Vallow going on the inside of Tim Ice. Put some distance now. Trying to get Silver, Massillon, Ohio, your leader right now. Bill Ingersoll is taking it to the pit. Spun out in turn 2, now he's a lap down. Vallow. Bob Silver ready to pass. Kenny has put him a lap down. He is past the 7th place car for the lap down. 6th is Robbie D. Moved on the rear end of Robbie D now for 6th place. Put him a lap down. From Flint, Michigan, spin out in turn 2. He was on the lead lap. He was challenging there for 4th with him and Tim Ice. Cars on the lead lap yet. Bob Sibla, then Mark Malquit, Johnny Vallow, then way back to Tim Ice, Robbie Dean, and John Doring. So we got Sibla, Malquit, Vallow, Ice, Dean, Doring on the lead lap, and that is it. Eddie Warback going to throw the green this time. We got a green. struggle with that second spot. Just can't quite do it. Down the back stretch, he's trying again. He might have him this time. He might have him. He's got Mark Magwood high. Vallow catch Sebla. Johnny Vallow, Mark Malquist, and Tim Ice, Robbie Dean, and John Dory. Sebla holds Vallow off. And lap traffic coming up for Bob Sebla. Eight laps to go. He's going in the pit. Sebla's got Dean in front of him now. This could slow Sebla up right here. He's going down the inside. What a race! What a race! Vallow takes the lead. Here comes Mark Magwood. White flag coming out for Johnny Vallow. It's Vallow now. Magwood in second. Sebla back to third. Turn. It's Johnny Vallow, Mark Malquist, Bob Sebla. Tim Ice will finish fourth. What a race! What a race! What a race! What a race!
That were being lapped couldn't get out of the way because they were side by side. They couldn't move out. is my personal opinion. 63 got the lead the same way. John Vallow, early in the race, Bob Sidler got the lead because of the pack. And the pack costing the race. Isn't that ironic? The way I have them, I'll have to check with my judges to make sure, but I have 21 John Vallow of Miami third first. I have 70 Mark Malcolm as Strasburg second, 63 Bob Zibla third, and 65 Tim Ice of Doylestown fourth. That's the way I have it, but the judges have every car in every lap, and they will have to double check themselves. But that's the way that I had them finishing. But with the white flag coming out, there were 4 cars that couldn't get out of the way. And they were 62, 71, 96, and 94 couldn't get out of the way because they were too abreast, and there was nowhere to go when the passing flag was put out. Just a fantastic event. The trophy is sponsored by Malkut Racing Engines of Strasburg. Brad Malkut on hand to present the trophy. And the winner of $2,000, John Vallow. And let me tell you something. If you get a chance, go in the pit after the races today and see the van and everything that they bring 21 in. Man, it was fantastic. How about a nice hand for our winner?
Johnny Vallow, your winner.
Of Miamisburg, and a very exciting race. It isn't over till it's over, somebody said. Holy mackerel, how do you top that one? Woo. Looked like Bob Sybil was going to run away with it. He was running vigorously. But they came up to the pack, and earlier Bob Sidler ran better through the pack than anybody else. He seemed to be able to weave his way through so much better than anybody else. Sidler took the lead in lap 22. Sidler took the lead in lap 22. And he held it from 22 through 73. And then 74th lap, Vallow slipped in front.
So it's Johnny Vallow, Mark Malkut, Bob Sidler,
Exciting race.
and Tim Ice, Robbie Dean,
Figuring up now the exact official
and
finish of that feature. But I had them 21.76.
Kenny Adams, then John Whitnall. Starting on the pole today, Harold Cool, number 6, the Tuscarora. 66, Mike Hines. Number 3, Tony Diano Sr. 28, Doug Mate. Number 7 up, Tom Smith. 550, Kenny Carroll. 98, Wes Galbraith. 670, Roger Liners. 88, Mike Dawson, and your fastest qualifier. 22, Baldy Baker Jr. 01, Tim Johnson. 32, Bill Bittaker. 06, Mark McGrath. 11, Randy Mick. 36, Tony Diano Jr. 31, Tom Early. 00, Rich Rohr. 68, Bear Schwartz. Number 10, Kelly Cottonball. And bringing up the rear, number 7, Gene Pringle. Flagman Eddie Wormack says one more time around, we'll go green. And the green flag is out. We're under green. We're racing. Harold Cool taking an early lead. Tony Diano Sr. moving up to second. Mike Hines third. Kenny Carroll coming up on the outside. Right behind Kenny Carroll is Roger Liner. Wes Galbraith getting a little bit sideways. The Baldy Baker Jr. goes by him. Roger Liner slams in the rear of Kenny Carroll. Harold Cool jumping out into a big lead. Tom Smith got underneath 670 Roger Liner. going on the outside of Baldy Baker Jr. Number 6, Harold Cool jumping out to a big lead, looking for his first feature of the year. 28, Duck Mate going on the inside of Mike Himes, giving him a tap. Baldy Baker Jr. dropping down on the inside of Roger Liners. 550 Ken Carroll on the inside of 28 Doug Mate. 670 Roger Liner going high on the outside of 22 Baldy Baker Jr. and 88 on the outside of 98 West Calvert. Get down into a real big half lap lead of Harold Poole with number 3 Tony Diano Sr. in second. Mike Hines in third, Kenny Carroll in fourth. Roger Liner and Baldy Baker Jr. having a tough time getting around 7 up Tom Smith. Harold Cool out into a commanding lead, followed by 3 Tony Diano Sr., 550 Kenny Carroll, 66 Mike Hines, 28 Doug Mate, 7 up Tom Smith, 670 Roger Liner, and 98 West Calgrass, 22 Baldy Baker Jr., and 88 Mike Dock. 550 up on the outside of Tony Diano Sr., number 3. And 550 takes second place. Number 6, Harold Poole out into a half a lap lead. Tom Smith spinning out in turn 4. I got that one, buddy. The yellow flag is out. No, I got that one. Yeah. What happened? West Calvert spun him out. Is that right? Tom Smith upset at 66. Mike Hines. For some reason, our cameraman says it was 98 West Galbraith who spun him out.
What was Romero? A red Romero in the parking lot. And
ball game now as Harold Cool lost his half lap lead. And the green flag is out again. We're under racing once again. Harold Cool taking high. Kenny Carroll pushing him down the straightaway. Cuts him off and takes first place. 06, Mark McGrath spinning in the infield. Along with what looks Number 6, Harold Cool, still out in the lead. 550, Kenny Carroll. 3, Tony Dino Sr. 28, Doug Mate, doing a fine job. 66, Mike Hines. 670, Roger Liner. 98, West Calbrett. 22, what? What's your box for that lady? Cool gets hit from behind by Tony Diana Sr. Bumper falling off, and Kenny Carroll takes the lead. They might have to black flag Harold Cool. He's got a bumper on his car that's about ready to fall off. And 36 come into a collision there on turn 2 and 3. 3 and 4. Flagman Eddie Warmack calling to bunch them up as they're ready to get on the green flag racing here. Pulls out the green flag. .550 Kenny Carroll taking early lead. 66 Mike Hines squeaking up in the second. Harold Cool on the outside, not giving up his position. Here comes 98 right up through the pack. West Galbraith is moving right through the pack. West Galbraith now up in the 3rd place. Hold her down, Wesley. Mike Dawson going to go down on the inside of Harold Cool. Bonnie Baker Jr. follow him right through the pack, and Roger Liner is also following him right through the pack. Mike Dawson moving up in the 3rd place. Bonnie Baker Jr. follows Mike Dawson right into 4th. Uh-oh, Harold Cool spinning out in front of Roger Liner. And the yellow flag comes out. Warmack calling to bunch him up. 550 Kenny Carroll holds the lead. 66 Mike Himes. 88 Mike Dawson. 22 Bonnie Baker Jr. 670 Roger Liner. For some reason Bonnie Baker Jr. is pulling out. The yellow flag comes out. They're going to give Baldy his position back. Something happened on the back stretch. Eddie Warmack calling to bunch him up. Trying to get a restart. And we're under green. 550 Kenny Carroll, 66 Mike Hines. 88 Mike Dawson, 22 Baldy Jr., 670 Roger Liner, 98 West Galbraith. Number 3, Tony Diana Sr., 28 Doug Mate, 01 Tim Johnston, 00 Rich Rohr, number 7 Gene Pringle, 11 Randy Mick, 36 Tony Diana Jr., 32 Bill Whitaker, 31 Tom Early, 06 Mark McGrath, 10 Kelly Cottonball, and number 7 up, Tom the Farmer Smith. And Harold Cool and Bear Schwartz come together in the rear of the pack to bring out yet another yellow flag. And we're under green flag racing again. Halfway home, halfway. Barney Baker Jr. loses power going down the backstretch. Barney Baker Jr. spinning out. Brings out yet another yellow flag. Warmack calling to bunch him up again. .550 Kenny Carroll bringing him in. Mike Hines behind him, and Mike Dawson behind him. And a green flag is out. .550, 66, 88, 670, 98, 3, 28. 01, 00, 36, 7, 11, 32, 31, 06, 10, number 6, 68, 22, number 7 out. Side racing was Tony Diano Jr. and 00 Rich Shore. Kenny Carroll taking a commendable lead. Kenny Curl coming up on the back of Farmer Smith, trying to put him a lap down. Barney Jr. seems to consistently lose power going down the backstretch. Tom Smith going one lap down. Barney Baker Jr. stays out on the track. 31 Tom Early spinning into the infield.
1 lap down. A mishap up in turn 4 with 01, number 11 and number 7. Number 7, Gene Pringle, getting out to look at his car, and 01 is sitting in the infield. They're looking for a green flag with 5 more laps to go. 550 Kenny Carroll, 66 Mike Hines, 88 Mike Dawson, 670 Roger Liner, 98 Wes Galbraith, 36 Tony Diano Sr., 36 Tony Diano Jr. 5 more laps to go. For 6th place. Tony Diano Jr. bumps Tony Diano Sr. up out of the way. Final lap for Kenny Carroll. Kenny Carroll, 66 second, 88 third, 674, 98 fifth, 36 sixth, 3 seventh, 28, 00, 7 up, 6 32, 06, 11, 01, 10, then 1 lap down, 68, and 7 up. But here's your winner, 550 Kenny Carroll. Go ahead, hit that button. Hit that feature winner button.
Kenny Carroll, a new Philadelphia quite a season for himself this year. He won a total of 4 features this season. 4 features this year. He had a total of 6 checkered flags. He finished second in the point standings and won $500 for first place today in our late model feature. Late model feature. Trophy being sponsored by the Econo Lodge of New Philadelphia and Kenny Carroll, who finishes second in the points. Sorry, you'll have to put on a Firestone hat there. All right. Dick Alfred, the Firestone store on hand here to give hats to all the winners today. A Firestone hat. You can't beat that. Our flagman needs a hat. I said 20. I apologize. It was 25 lap feature. 25 lap feature. And either Rick Allborn or Carl Kegley is driving this car, and I got to find out which one. Kegley, okay, thank you very much. Carl Kegley.